Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I am back with another speed build per usual, but today this is actually going to be a community lot build. It's been a little while since I've done one, but I thought today would be a fun time to create a little like cafe and bookstore, really inspired by the new bookcases that we got with the Crystal Creation stuff pack. They just scream library or like any kind of cozy space with books. It could be a bookstore, cafe is what I went for here. So a place where downstairs you can come here and get a nice cup of coffee or any kind of hot beverage. And then upstairs there's some lounging areas as well as lots of bookcases. And I went for more of an industrial design for this one. I am building in the world of Copperdale. This is actually where ThifTea usually is. It always feels weird when I bulldoze that lot since I built the original ThifTea. So goodbye to that, but I thought it was a perfect lot for this. It's like a central area and I can imagine a lot of Sims coming here and enjoying this space. So I hope you will enjoy it as well. If you do and you'd like to download this build, it will be available in the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. So working on the front of the build now and trying to figure out what the facade is going to look like, where the entrance is going to be, and what sort of signage I wanted to use. I ended up using this sign, which I think is from Get Together. I'm assuming that it's supposed to be like a magnifying glass, but it also kind of looks like if you were looking down at a coffee cup, what it would look like. So I thought that that made the most sense for this little cafe. And I used a lot of these wall pieces from Eco Lifestyle as like a stylized like wooden portion on the front of the build. I used a lot of wood and a lot of like pipes and stuff like that. And of course the industrial loft kit, since I did want this to feel like a very industrial space. And I think I achieved that. Industrial is one of my favorite design styles. I love doing it in The Sims. And I typically will do that in like apartments. I don't know if I've done a community lot in an industrial style before, but it made for a very nice cafe. And I'm excited for you to see how it comes out. I was really, really proud of this build. This was actually originally suggested by my best friend. She was like, hey, so I'm already at your house. Can we order pizza and build a bookstore cafe or a cafe with books in it? And I was like, yes, we absolutely can. I know just the bookcases. So I sat down and we did this a couple of nights ago while we were hanging out, and it was so much fun. I'd be actually really curious to know how many of you have a friend that you can play The Sims with. Whether that was growing up or now, even if it's somebody online, it's just such a nice experience when you have somebody that understands the interest, which is why I started YouTube in the first place, is because I didn't really have anyone in real life that was as into it as me. And I still don't. My best friend likes The Sims, but doesn't want to do it all the time. But every once in a while, she'll reach out and be like, hey, can we work together and build something? And I'm totally down for that because it's all I ever want to do. So that was a fun time. Some of the builds on the channel she'll be here when I work on. We hang out probably a couple times a month. It's so nice to have a friend that I've had for such a long time. We've been friends for like, I don't know, 17, 18 years, somewhere around there. So I am always glad to do builds with her. But anyway, I'm just rambling about that now. The outside of this build is coming together. It's pretty much just a big box. But I did add a parking area over on this side. So I'm using these like parking stops, which are from Strangerville. And then I used these lines from Spot A, I think they're from, that are, or maybe they're from Get Together. I can't tell from the icon right now because it's really small on my screen. But they're meant for like the bottom of a pool to section off the different lines. But I decided to use them here for these parking spaces, which I thought looked quite nice. You could also do this with a low-lying fence. It's just that it is a little higher up, whereas this looks more realistic, like they're painted on the concrete or the pavement. So that's what I opted for here. And then I added a fourth parking spot as there was additional space and it felt a little bit empty. There's also an area for there to be some bikes out front. I'm going to be switching those to some decorative ones instead of the functional ones, with a like bike stand that came in Show Live at Objects from For Rent. And then I also have this planter over here that I just fill up with all kinds of greenery. I felt like this lot needed something, but there's not a lot of space and it doesn't make a ton of sense for there to be much greenery here. So I thought putting it in a planter made the most sense. And just painting the roof and the like wall trim and trying to make it all look cohesive, as well as work on this little platform here so it is not bare. I sometimes forget to paint platforms, but I did remember here. It just took me a little while. Also adding some of these string lights from the toddler stuff pack. I used Tool to kind of shove them into the ground because they're floating a little bit because of that platform. And you'll see a few different times they pop back up, but I do fix it before the end of this build. I just thought that they were a nice touch, and there's similar ones in the background of this area, so I liked that. I will also be changing that sign a little bit later because I find one from, I believe, Cottage Living that has some sort of animal with a book. It might be a bunny. I don't remember. But I was excited about it, so I ended up using that later on, but we're not there yet. I also changed the swatches and the wallpapers on the exterior of this build so many times because I kept not being happy with it. We get there in the end, but it ultimately still is just a big box. But I think that's pretty realistic to real life. A lot of places are just big boxes. The outsides aren't that exciting for community lots. The inside is where I feel like this place shines, hence why that is in the thumbnail. But I did want to have some outdoor dining here, so I used a couple of these high top tables from the Industrial Loft Kit and paired them with these stools. Oh, it's a fox. See, the fox is reading a book. I knew it was like a little critter. But anyway, those stools are from, I believe those ones are from Cottage Living. Oh, wait, no, that's not the ones I picked. I picked the ones that are from Growing Together. But anyway, here is where I'm going to be putting the stairs. It's sort of a lofted space, so at that narrow area at the top, there's going to be bookcases. And then where it opens up on the other side, I'm going to have couches and stuff for your Sims to lounge. And I just love the layout of this place and the colors. And I want to visit here in real life. I just think it's a really fun one. Unfortunately, we only have a couple of these, like, what do you call these? The like stands where you can get your coffee and like a barista stand, essentially. We only have a couple of them in the game, and none of them really fit the style I wanted to go for. So I just picked the one with the darkest colors and went with that, and then tried to put everything around it to be a little bit more industrial. And I think that worked out okay. I add some brick in as well as some wood. I changed my mind about colors and textures a bunch of different times because I wasn't sure what was going to look best, but I think I kept the wood in the end. I just love that wood wallpaper from Eco Lifestyle. It's one of my favorite ones in the entire game. I said that when the pack first came out, and it hasn't changed. It's just such a good wallpaper. I also was actually able to fit 2 full bathroom stalls in this little bathroom. So I do get rid of that window and put 2 of these in here. They just barely fit, but I thought that this bathroom came out so cute. We're going to decorate it fully, I think, a little bit later. I don't think I do it right now, but I just wanted, or maybe I do. Yeah. So these are the sinks that I used from the Growing Together pack. I think the colors in here are so nice. It looks so high end, but it's very small, and I just think it looked really cute. I also used these mirrors from high school years, one that is plain and one that has some stickers on it for a little bit of personality. And then, of course, getting a paper towel dispenser and a soap dispenser, all of that, which is from Get to Work. I like to add those in like public restrooms. I think it's really realistic for the Sims to have that. So just getting those in this space. And I think I'm going to be adding a tile on the floor in here so we don't have the wood in the bathroom. Oh, and these little hand wash signs, which I thought were cute. We got those in an update, I think, last year at some point. Same thing with the door I have to this bathroom that has a toilet on it instead of gendered signs. And then I just added a plant over in the corner and I think a full-length mirror. And that should be pretty much it for that bathroom. Just getting the tile I end up using. And it's this one from Home Chef Hustle, which I think is really pretty. And I got a couple of walls that are accented with that wood. And then this little area is going to be like a walkthrough to the kitchen space. And I decided that would make sense for employees to go through a little door. There's an extra fridge and a couple of counters in that little box. And then an archway into the space where an employee would stand to serve customers. And so that's what I opted for here. I just thought it would be nice to have a fridge on this lot if you needed it. And you could lock that door for customers. And added a menu back here. Got some of my favorite shelves from For Rent. I think they are so, so pretty. I also got a little like kettle and lots of cups and teas and pastries. I got a place for your Sims to hang up their aprons. And I just had a lot of fun with the clutter over here. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done a community lot. And sometimes I think they're fun. Sometimes I don't. But I had a blast with this one. So if there are other community lots you would like to see, please let me know. I'd be totally down to do another one sometime soon. Maybe we could even do that live over on Twitch. I'm not sure, but let me know what you would like to see. I always ask for suggestions, but specifically community lots this time because this was so much fun. And I sometimes have trouble coming up with different community lot ideas because I don't know what would be the most useful. But anyway, in the kitchen space, I felt like there was a little bit of empty space over here. So I added some more coffee stuff on the walls as well as a little planter in the kitchen. And then we're getting some upper head cabinets in that little like employee space. But back outside now, I added a couple of like table tents on the tables. And then we're figuring out the tables I want inside using these high top ones from Tiny Living paired with those same stools from Growing Together. And I should be grabbing those same tables to put outside as well, a couple of them. And I just enjoyed the table tents here. Also, this light is perfect for this space. I almost never use this light because it's a little much. I think it's gorgeous, but I don't think it works in a lot of spaces. But in industrial cafe, of course, you're going to have a plant that's hanging off of the light like that. It fits perfectly here, and I was just really excited about it. So I did use that over here, and then I'm trying to figure out some curtains to go over this window and just a little bit more of artwork as well. I considered adding a poster over there that had a coffee cup on it, but I felt like this place would have things in frames, not just a random poster. So I didn't do that, but I did get this really beautiful shelf over here, and I added some extra books to it. And just like some other decor, I also got some floating bookshelves over on the other side of the bathroom door. And then this is under the staircase. I added some bookcases and just basically a lot of stuff from the Book Nook kit. I thought it was a nice way to decorate the space and give you an idea of what's upstairs. Downstairs is definitely more cafe oriented, but there's still a lot of books down here. And I thought it was cute. And then upstairs is just so dreamy. And I'm so excited that we're going to be getting up there here shortly. But first, I wanted to make sure there was a place to hang up a coat when you first came in. And I also was just fiddling around with this little kitchen space. I know I considered adding a like standing mat for your Sims to stand on if they were behind the like barista area, but I don't remember if I did that or not. But here are the tables I added outside. I had mentioned those, and I should be getting those same table tents on them. Those are from the, oh goodness, Dine Out pack. And here are those bookcases I had mentioned. These are from the Crystal Creation stuff pack. They are so pretty. I love that there's two varieties, a normal one and then one that has a ladder on it. So I decided to use those. And then I used the couch and the chairs that are from the Industrial Loft kit, as well as this gorgeous sign on the wall. I can't tell from here. I think it's tea, not coffee, but it's really pretty. And I think it worked perfectly for this space. It was like the exact vibe I was going for. And the couches I opted for are in a like blue swatch. I picked that because the wood tone matched better in this space than the other swatches. But I think that's nice because I end up using like the blacks or the grays on that couch usually when I use it. So I thought the blue was a nice change, and it kind of matched in with the decal I put on the wall as well. And then I just got a rug up here. This one is from the Werewolves pack. I think it is really pretty. I use it in a lot of builds, you've probably noticed. It's one of my most used rugs. And then I just got a little ottoman over here. And I think I put a pile of books there. Just lots of book decor everywhere. And that's what's going to go on these bookcases as well. They're a little sparse just because the swatches are not that great here. I tried to fiddle with it a little bit, but I still felt kind of limited by the swatches on these bookcases. But I still really like how I was able to decorate them. I also added a couple of like dirty coffee cups up here so that like maybe Sims were enjoying their coffee and it's actively being used, so their cups are sitting there while they're reading a book. And then I added this piping, which came with the Industrial Loft kit. I forget about this all the time, and I was really excited to use it. So we're just making a shape going over this lofted space to make it really feel really industrial. You know, going for that whole vibe I was going for this whole time. So just moving those around so that they actually meet up with the wall. They were kind of floating in the middle because I have quarter tile placement on. And yeah, filling up these bookcases some more. I get some plants, I get some books. I end up getting a couple of different things. So like I use some books that slot, but I also use this one dresser piece or like side table piece that is from Cats and Dogs. It's a kind of like a piece of luggage that has piles of books on top. And I always use that to decorate bookcases because it looks so cute. So I should be grabbing that here shortly and scaling it down to put on the lower levels in a couple of different places. It's just a nice way to fill up the shelves. So, oh yeah, and a couple of paintings were put up here as well. Those are from base game and they just kind of lean. So I grabbed the neutral one and put that up there. And then here I am grabbing this little suitcase with all the books on it. You can see what I mean, how it just fills in the space quite nicely. And that is most of what's going to be up here. I do put a couple of framed pictures over here as well, which are from the Book Nook kit. They're supposed to look like book covers, I'm pretty sure. So I picked out a couple of those that all have the same color frame, and we're just going to hang them in this space to really finish off the top floor. So just looking at all of them now and trying to decide which ones to use. These are some of my most used paintings in the game now. I just think they are so pretty. So it made sense to use them up here as well. They're a little bit more colorful than the rest of the build, but they're book covers and I thought it was nice. And then I was just adding a trash can downstairs and then trying to figure out some last minute changes to the exterior since I kept being indecisive and unsure and disappointed with how the outside looked, even though I think it's quite realistic to just be a big box. Something about it was still bothering me, so I was just playing around with different things. I added an HVAC unit on the roof and changed my mind and put a different one. We also got a dumpster out back, and I believe I ended up grabbing that decal from inside and putting it on the back of the build as well. I was just really trying to make sure that it all felt finished, so grabbing some more vines to put around and just a couple of extra touches here and there, another planter, and filling that up with basically the same plants. But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more and click that bell to be notified when I upload. Thank you so very much for watching. We have a little bit left here, getting some last minute decorations before we head on into screenshots. But I really hope you enjoyed those screenshots and you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.